Canadian police officers blocked church members from having a drive-in worship service. Yes, they wanted to drive in and wait in the parking lot in their own personal vehicles to gather for a worship service, and the Canadian police blocked the highway and blocked the entrance to get in. Now, you may agree with the police, you may disagree. You may agree with the Minister of Health, you may disagree. That's not really the point of this particular video. The point is that we've seen situations like this, we've seen videos like this where people don't get what they want. And what do you normally see? At least now. You see riots, you see protests, you see violence, you see people demonstrating, you see positive, peaceful protests, and then you see things that really make you sad. What did these Christians do? Did they attack the police? They didn't. Did they burn or loot or riot? They didn't. You know what they did? In below freezing temperatures, they worshiped God outside. They didn't attack the police. They didn't argue with it. They gathered for worship outdoors. They put up speakers. They listened to the sermon, and they praised God outdoors. There was no violence. There was no attacks. There was no punching, no yelling, no nothing. 100+ church members wanted to have a drive-in worship service, and you and I might argue that they could have the right safely to worship in their cars in the parking lot. But even when the police said no, below 30-degree temperature, the high was 30 in Manitoba that morning, they worshiped God in the street, in the highway, and witnessed their faith to police officers that were simply doing their job. Proverbs chapter 27, do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth. I bring up this example because we're seeing increasing amounts of Christian restrictions on Christians from various governments and various entities. And it's easy for us to boast and say, look at us, we should do. No, don't boast about tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Don't act like everything's in control. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I praise the humility of these particular church members and the police officers in Canada. But okay, I can't do that. I'm going to take away that particular right. Well, I'm going to worship God in the street. We're going to block off the highway and worship him here. And then we're going to go peaceably home. We're not going to leave a mess. We're not going to burn any police cars. The right to worship, I can do that outdoors with my pastor blaring over the speakers. Don't boast about tomorrow. You don't know what it's going to bring. Worship God, even in the highway.